Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. And in today's video, I'm just going to be covering a bit of an update on across all the markets, and just see what the markets are telling us right now. I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish in the markets right like tomorrow or today. Like, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow or today, you know what I mean? I'm a trader and I'm just going to let the market talk to me. On the broader picture though, fundamentally this is building up to be a V bubble, not a V bottom. So but let's actually see what the market's telling us like right now, and what we can see from it, and we'll see if the market can give us a bit of clues of what it may be wanting to be doing moving forward into this week. Before I start, guys, make sure you grab the $7 trading course if you are struggling in your trading right now and you need help. Maybe you're losing money, you don't even know why, then make sure you grab this $7 trading course. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here to help you, and especially this number one right here, especially this one right here, the biggest mistakes. You're gonna absolutely love this when it comes to really figuring out why you're actually losing money. Like, why are you actually not getting ahead? And that's probably the biggest thing, right? You can learn all the trading techniques, trading systems, blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff. But if you don't learn these mistakes here, you're gonna keep doing this, right? Spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and what is that? That's the big B, right? Which is bankruptcy. Don't do that, right? So log in there, $7. Go to johnsflashsale.com and check that out. Let's get straight into the markets right now, guys. And let's actually start with the good old Nasdaq. The Nasdaq for me, guys, is when I'm looking at the Nasdaq here, it's really, really, really overextended right now, right? Like, look how big, if I bring up the 1 year worth of charts here, look how big this move has been up through here, guys. You know what I mean? And the market is this sort of breathing, living mechanism, right? And the more we're just going up through here, right, we're just exerting energy up here, aren't we? Or we just had a big move up. And what's probably likely to happen when we start to get a very big move up, what tends to happen is we start to go through a bit of a consolidation period, or at least a pullback period. If I go to the GDX here for a minute, use the GDX as an example, right? This is an example of the GDX, right? If you've been watching my videos for the last few months, you would know that probably around about here, I was saying, hang on a minute, guys, they're probably likely to get some form of a pullback, so don't be jumping in now, right? We had a little pop up, people said, oh, John, you're wrong, and then we've had a very nice pullback here. So maybe that's all we're going to get out of the the Nasdaq or whatever, right? When it comes to that there, but we've had this very nice big move up. We need a nice sort of time balance here to balance it out before we start to go for a nice run. So if you go back to the Nasdaq as well too, you can see what I'm saying through there. And the last time we had a big vertical move up, as you can see from there to there, guess what happened? We went from there to there. We broke the trend line. We came back up, hit it. We actually hit it many times, and then we actually finally broke it and had a big move down. We've had a look at the angle of that there, right? Much stronger move up right now, right? This is the classic. This is the classic bubble in markets is not that hard to see. The hard thing is when it's going to end. That's always the hardest thing, right? But you can start to get a little bit of clues every now and then, but by weaknesses, and if you want to start using like indicators and stuff like that, that can give you a bit of warning sign. But look at this here, right? If I draw a trend line, if I draw my arrow from the start of this move to the end of the move, you see the angle of that move, right? And then we had a big move down. So if I go to the start of this move to the end of this move, look at the angle there, right? See the angle. This one here is so much more vertical than this one here. So we're going to break the trend line, come back up, hit resistance. Even if we do get a little bit more of a push up, guys, I don't see that being too much before we start to see something like this. Now, I'm not calling for a new low, guys. I'm not calling for a new low. I'm not calling for anything like that. I'm just calling for a nice, healthy pullback in the markets. because you would actually want to see that, right? In a nice healthy bull market, you want to see nice healthy corrections, and then let's get ready to go again. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want this thing to continue up and up and up and up. Why? Well, let me share with you exactly what I mean by this. If I bring up a chart here for a minute, and not only fundamentally do we know so many people are bullish these markets right now, fundamentally, but let me look at this here. All right, this is Bitcoin here, okay? And let's go to the daily chart. Let's squeeze this daily chart up here for a minute. Let me go back in time. So when you start to go vertical, look what happens, right? It's now bubble territory. When anything starts to go when anything starts to go like that, guess what? There's a massive probability we're going to end up back down to where it actually started. And look what ended up happening, right? We end up coming back right back down to especially where it actually starts. Wherever it starts to go vertical, that's where it's probably likely to come back down to. Look what happened. Came right back down to it. So when you start to see these big vertical moves in the markets, guys, don't be so like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, I've got to jump on right now. That is the worst time, right? This is a classic bubble formation through here. And not only that, but guess what was happening through here? The hairdressers, my brother-in-law, even my ex-wife, she's like, oh my goodness, Bitcoin. I'm like, no. Right? And look what happened. Right? Right through there. So that's what I'm saying there, guys. You don't, if you are in any market, you don't ever want it to be like, you don't ever want it to continue to go straight up. You want to see nice healthy pullbacks, right? Because if you get a very big move up, there's a very good chance that it's going to retrace 100% of wherever that bubble started, just like Bitcoin over here, right? So once again, you can see the big vertical move started where? The big vertical move started from down here, didn't it? And so if I highlight that, you can see this is where it went vertical, and we eventually made our way back down to retrace 100% of the bubble. This is what happens, guys, when you see bubbles in anything. In stock markets, and one thing that even worries me, guys, and one thing that does worry me is if you look at the population growth, we're in a bubble right now. And I'm not saying something's going to happen right now, but over the next couple of decades, guys, something's going to happen that's going to depopulate us a little bit more. Maybe 2030, maybe 2040, I don't know, guys, but understanding cycles and bubbles in everything, it's, the human population, guys, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but something's going to happen that's going to, slow down the population, whether it's, we don't have any babies anymore, and as the years go on, the population gets less and less from there. More people are dying than babies are happening. I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but the population growth is just massive boom, right? So maybe 2030, maybe 2040, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be another 2, 3, 4 decades before we actually start to see that population boom start to reverse, right? Because everything goes in cycles, doesn't it? And once again, guys, the more you can understand the cycles of things, when things look really, really bad, it's probably a good time to buy. When things look really, really, really good, it's probably time to sell. And just flip it on its head. So and so we can see that that's what's happening here with the good old Nasdaq. And so therefore, guys, I wouldn't be too surprised, guys, if we did start to see, again we may continue up a little bit more, but I think we're starting to get a bit of a weakness through here, guys. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens through there. Let's go have a look at the S&P 500 now. So the S&P 500, sort of the same thing. You can see how we had a very nice move up here last time, right? October into around about sort of February. We pushed down. We had one last push up. See how this had a little high here, right? And then one last little push up, and then that was the collapse. That may be, going back to the Nasdaq here for a minute, we may even get that there, right? So we may even get like a little bit more of a push up, but oh my goodness, we're probably likely to start to see something like that, right? A bit of a sucker rally, get people along. And so you can see here, right? We can see from the low, we have a higher low. The market came up through here. We broke down, and as we broke down, right, you can see now we're just under we're on the other side, still on this trend line, and the trend line is valid and relevant. And as you can see, if I bring up my last 6 months here, you can see how it came up. It actually rejected it here once, twice, and look what's happening here. So my question to the markets is, are we going to continue making this lower high? Because if we continue making this lower high here, guys, if we get something like this moving forward like that, and especially if we break this sort of 3,000 level, then we are on our way back. We are on our way back down to at least that 2,800. Okay, I don't believe we're going to get to a new low, guys. I believe next year we're going to get to a new low, but I don't believe we're going to get to an absolute new low in the markets, but who knows what's going to happen. But if we start to see this thing rolling over from here, then that's where the market's probably going to get to, around that 2,800 level. Overall, guys, I don't think the market's going to do much throughout this whole election year. Okay, what I mean by that is probably going to go down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, do that sort of stuff throughout the year. And then maybe towards the end of the year, we break out, we do whatever it's going to do, okay, after the elections has been done and so on and so forth. But due to the fact that it's an election year, I don't think much is going to happen throughout the year on the big picture. If I bring up that big picture here and squeeze it up, this weekly chart, right, we get a bit of a drop through here, a bit of a rally through here, a bit of a drop through here. Coincidentally, right, we have a shoulder through here. Let's go through here, right? We have a shoulder through here, a head through here. And if we start to do something like that, is it a coincidence that would probably looks like we're forming some sort of right shoulder and then we go down? So maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? Maybe we just continue up from here. That's the fun about trading, right? We just never know exactly what's going to happen. And the hardest thing I find about that you guys that watch these videos, right, on YouTube, and me and everyone else on YouTube, when you watch all these guys, you're trying to find that one that's right in the market, right? Oh my goodness, he called the top in the market. He's the man. It's like, no one's the man. It's the market's the man. You know what I mean? It's like, we need to just focus on that. And if you think you need to be right to do well in the markets, you don't, right? Because that's not how trading, in any major hedge fund out there, whether it's Ray Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones, which I respect, Howard Marks, I respect all these guys out there. You will find that in their way that they trade, they have a portion of their portfolio of positions they've taken that are not doing well, are actually underwater. They're losing money on those positions, and then they have a good portion of their portfolio that are doing well. Right? There's a win-loss ratio there. That's the same with your approach there. So if you are trying to load up on one position, trying to make a lot of money in one position, you got to think about, hang on a minute, that's not the way trading is done, right? It's based on a system that has a win-loss ratio, and every time you take a trade, you don't know whether that trade is going to be part of the win in the win-loss ratio or the loss in the loss ratio. And we just need to keep that in perspective, guys, okay? The market is going to be here tomorrow, and the more that we can sort of slow ourselves down in the markets, and just sort of calm and just relax, the more we're going to see things clearly, and the more opportunities we're going to see, and the more time you're not going to be throwing your money at the markets, and then the more time you're going to see, okay, this is what's really going on right now. And then from that, you can start to, and when you do place a position in the markets, you're not risking, you're keeping your risk small, and some of them are going to be losing trades, and some are going to be profits. And if we can stick to that there, then that's how you do well out of the markets long term overall. Okay, not on any single given one trade. And I know you Robin Hooders right there right now are definitely doing that. So that's what's happening now on the S&P and the Dow Jones. Now the Dow Jones is starting to look quite weaker right now. We can see once again with the Dow Jones, right? We came down through here. We found a lot of support through here, Look what happened recently, right? We came down, rejection. Look what happened. We actually rejected it, and the actual bar. If I bring up my 3 month view, right, you can see the actual bar open low. I was actually expecting, by the way, guys, to see something like this out of the markets, right? Because I'm so bearish, because I'm thinking we're getting towards some sort of at least a medium term top or a short term top in the markets. The market always does what I think it does, what I think it's not going to do, right? So I think, you know what, probably going to go down from here because of blah, 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 and then the market goes up, right? So I was actually expecting the market to go up. Due to the fact that we're still continuing down like that, it's really sort of questioning what I'm seeing here. No, questioning, okay, are we actually going to go up? But again, I'm bearish on these markets right now. So if we do, same in the Nasdaq, if we continue down like here, guys, we're starting to create this lower. We've got this island reversal gap here. That's still in play right now. We came down, we rallied up, we still haven't enclosed that gap. That's still okay. This is a breakaway gap. Not all gaps get filled, right? Especially on the way the market is right now. This sort of gap up and a gap down, and where we are right now. This whole the island reversal. Now, an island reversal is when the market rallies up. We have a bit of a gap up, which is an exhaustion gap. It does nothing for a while. It's like a bit of an island here. And then we gap down and we continue down, right? So even if we do that and then we continue down, we've still got this sort of topping market through here. So this sort of island reversal pattern through here is still in play as we speak right now. And you can see how the markets came down, made a low, rallied up. This still could be making a lower high here right now and then rolling over from here. And so if we start to see that, again, I don't expect to see a big crash, probably even down to sort of the 2300 level. You know, maybe down through there. You know, again, I don't see too much on. I don't see a test of new lows. Well, we may, right? If things start to really heat up in the USA, then we may see that. But right now, guys, this whole bearish setup formation through here, this little island reversal pattern that we're seeing here right now is still in play. And we still haven't actually closed this gap. And once again, guys, people say, oh, you know, all gaps get filled. They don't always get filled. Especially if this is the start of a new move down, just like back here with the Rona, right? Look at this here. Same thing, right? Came running back up, bit of a gap down, and then we actually drop down from there. So not all gaps get filled. You know, so that was the that was that level through there. So anyway, so that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. So we could be creating some sort of a lower high through here. It's going to be really telling to see what's likely to happen. Probably Monday, or probably, you know, moving forward into Monday and Tuesday this week. And we can see that that's, if we do start to get a bit of a down bar through here, this is a lower high, and we're probably likely to see at least that 50% retracement. So from the low to the high point. That 50% retracement goes smack right on this. See that there? It comes smack right on that 23,000 level. So that's where I see it getting down to, guys. Not a massive crash, but you know, the bearish setup here is still in play. Moving on now through to the GDX right now, guys, and once again, guys, on a short-term basis, we're still in this bit of a really not much going on through here. And once again, guys, if you've been listening to me now for the last few months, you know I've been calling this, like, wait for a pullback, wait for some sort of resting phase where the market doesn't do much, right? Because whenever, as I said to you before with the Nasdaq, whenever the market starts to make a big move up like this, it needs to have a pullback, right? And as you can see here, right, this here was like one final hooray to get people long, and now we're having some sort of a pullback, and we may continue this for a little bit longer before we start to head up. Now, my longer term picture, guys, my overall picture over the next 12 months, 2 years, is very bullish on GDX. That doesn't mean we're not going to get a dip. In fact, I hope we actually do get that, because I want to get into some more of that there long term anyway. So, but that's what I'm seeing through there, right? We've come back down to this level of support with through here, and we can see that the market is definitely finding a lot of support through here overall on this short-term basis, and we're definitely getting this sort of little pennant sort of flag formation through here. We do have a potential head and shoulder formation that's happening right now. I actually just noticed that. So we do have a potential head and shoulder formation. We've got this sort of shoulder through here. We've got this head through here, and a potential like right shoulder through here. So we could actually even break down from here. And if we do break down, then the projection of this head and shoulder formation would be from the head. All right, guys, I'm not bullish or bearish. I'm just listening to the markets, okay? So that's all it is. And I'm just going to project this down. So even if we do get a bit of if the market does go through a bit of a dip, and so does the gold mining stocks, then we may even head back down towards these lows through here of around that, which is interesting. Goes in line with all those levels of support through there. As you can see, and if I squeeze my chart up a bit more, you can see it comes back down to just below this level of support level through here as well too. So with the GDX guys, that one, we have this major resistance level up through here. As you can see, this major sort of 37. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So that's sort of resistance at this $5 increment through here. If I do that once again, so what's that there? 37. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. If I go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, that's 27 there. All right. I'm just actually, that looks like bigger, doesn't it? So from 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 and a bit down, probably even down to 1 there. It's probably 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm doing, guys, I'm just measuring from the high of this resistance point down to the low of this resistance point, because if it does break, then if it's not the head and shoulder, at least a projection down, because the range of this here, right, we can see sometimes the market will give us blocks of, okay, it's every $5 we're likely to find some support or resistance there, and you'll be surprised, right? Go back in time and you'll be able to see that. So this is $6 down, right? So from 31 to 37, that's $6 down. So if I take that down again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down to 26, right? So as you can see, right, I'm just measuring from, is that the exact high point? Let me, from there to there. And if I project that down, from there to there, if I project that down, then we've got this absolute low point through here, right? Right through there. And it's interesting, you can see that there's a lot of sort of support and resistance just below that as well too. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just looking to see, okay, if we do start to break below this 31 level here, then where are we likely to get to? And so the bit more of a conservative basis would be these level of support level through here. So let me take that off the screen. So I'd say we're probably likely to get to, if we do break the 31 down to 26. But as I said before, guys, my longer term picture here is very bullish overall on the GDX. So I'm not saying we're definitely going to get that breakdown, because we may not. But looking at where we are right now, we can see that moving on through to the GDXJ from here, we can see that we had this very nice move up from here to here. Okay, very actually, I wonder if the GDX had the same sort of thing as well. No, it didn't. What I'm talking about here, guys, what I was just looking at just there, I just drew that trend line in. As you can see, I've got no trend lines here, but I drew this trend line in, and isn't it interesting? This is exactly what the stock market is doing, right? And so did so the stock market, where you can see how it actually broken down, came up, hit this level of resistance, and now we're sort of just flattening out a bit, not really doing much from here. And so you can see that that's what's happening there right now, guys. A bit of a breakdown. We are starting to get a bit of a trend line coming down from there to there on a short-term basis. We do have a lot of support and resistance level coming on through here. Again, what's happening right now in the markets. So I'm looking at this here right now, guys. It's really interesting, right? It's like I'm not getting any clearer sign out of this as well too when it comes to that, because we could actually break down from here, right? Because with this could be one big sort of bullish flag formation, or not really bullish flag, right? Because it came down from here. So guys, if we do get a break below this sort of level from here, which is around about that sort of 43 level, if we do get that, then we could see a drop back down, maybe even down to around about that sort of 30. Let's bring up the last 6 months here again. Around the sort of $36 level there, $37 level. You can see what's happening through there right now as well too. So, right, so this was really interesting to see what I'm seeing through there. If I go into the gold chart right now, gold has continued to be really not much going on through here. Just sideways through here. So it's interesting. Where are we going to break out from here? Are we going to break up, or are we going to break down? When it comes to gold, not really any telling sign through here. We have been spending a lot of time here going sideways. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing break up and out from here. This is where I'm actually different to Harry Dent. I actually am bullish long term when it comes to gold. But the thing is, guys, is that if we hold here and we break below the 1680, then we're probably likely to see a very sort of a big move down on gold. I see there's a couple of different long-term trend lines that are probably likely to come into play. If we did see this thing here, this sort of bullish flag formation, not being bullish, then we could actually see a very big pullback through here. And what I'm talking about here, guys, is that if you look back in time, right, there's been plenty of times in the past where we've had a bullish flag formation. As you can see, like this is a bull flag formation through here, and then we actually got a bit of a drop down. So just because we get a bull flag formation, right, same thing through, like look at this here, big run up, lots of sideways period through here, as you can see. So this actually, if I go back in time, right, this actually looks like a bull flag through here, doesn't it? Just because it's bullish, because it's a bull flag doesn't mean it's going to be bullish for the markets. But if we break below the low, then guess what? We're probably likely to run. If we break the, as you can see here, we broke out here, we're probably likely to run down to the bottom of the flag. That's where the flag started. Okay, and we're probably likely to run down to the bottom of the flag. As you can see, it actually dropped a lot more from there. Now we're doing sort of the same thing, aren't we? If I take this off the screen through here, actually, yes, let me just delete everything off the screen here for a minute. Now we're doing the same thing, aren't we? We're actually sort of forming this sort of bullish flag formation through here. So right now, I'm actually bullish on this because of the trend analysis and so on and so forth. But what I'm seeing now, guys, as well too, just drawing that trend line in, what I'm seeing, guys, is that if we do start to sort of break this sort of X marks the spot through here, then we could actually see a bit of a drop back down towards its lows through here, which is, again, if we go through a bit of a deflationary period in the stock market, it actually may drag that down as well too. So, but for me, guys, right now for me to see any confirmation, we're probably likely to get down to 1460. I'm not saying we are, but if we do start to break this major level through here, this sort of X marks the spot, or through here, we start to break these levels through here, then we're probably likely to head back down from there. So that's what I'm saying through there, guys. Once again, guys, with gold, not doing much right now, but we want to see where's the breakout going to be, because the breakout's going to give us confirmation of where we're likely to run to. But when it comes to silver and gold, guys, when it comes to silver, long term, I'm just bullish this thing long term. If I go to my weekly charts through here, I can see that we've been pretty much hammered down all through here as well too. So even on a short-term basis, even on a short-term pullback, guys, I'm very, very, very bullish long-term on silver through here. I think we've got a very nice move coming out of silver. The question is, when is that going to happen? I believe it's already happening right now. I think a lot of people expect we're at silver right now is at $17, and they expect in a month's time for it to be up at 40. Or tomorrow, right? It's like, it's not happening. What's going on? These things take time. If you're looking for big bull markets take years to form and happen with the pullbacks and swings and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. There's a bit of an update for you guys overall. I hope you enjoyed today's little session here, guys. Before I go, make sure you head on down to johnsflashsale.com. There we go, johnsflashsale.com. Grab the $7 trading course right now, and I'll see you in the next video.